Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Hawashai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. I just received a video from my younger sister, and all the conversations and spiritual conversations we had. She sent me a video from Fox with this doctor pleading for Jacob to take, for the people to take this vaccination. All right, when there's so much evidence that's being ignored by the mainstream media about the damaging effects, but he's swearing by it and how it can fix you and save you and this, that, and the other. And I don't. And it's like with the history of these people and the things that they've done medically to us as the people of the Lord, and how our people still trust in them, and it's mainly the women, and they're using the women the same way they did in the past. All right, the same way they did in the past. As a matter of fact, this is a video put up by one of my subscribers. Actually, I'm going to grab a scripture first, and then I'm going to play some of her video. I believe it's a sister. This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 25, and start at 24. And it reads, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." All right? That being said,
welcome back to CBS This Morning. The FDA could approve emergency authorization for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine as soon as today, but no vaccine will be effective if the people don't take it. In our series, Vaccinating America, we're looking at coronavirus vaccine hesitancy is what it's called. 60% of Americans say they would definitely or probably get a vaccine, but another survey shows only 14% of Black Americans and 34% of Latinos trusted that it will be safe. Adriana.
Now, if you go and you look at the history of these eagles and what they've done to these two classes of people who are indeed Israelites, when you look at the Tuskegee experiment, and when the Tuskegee experiment was exposed, they shifted it down to Guatemala. All right, cancer that was injected into so-called Puerto Ricans. As a matter of fact, you had President Clinton and President Obama make apologies on it. This happened, and these are just one of many incidents where our people were experimented on. There were experiments done by the military in the projects in the Bronx. All right, there was all sorts of things that have been done to our people unawares of them, but yet we're supposed to trust them. And if this thing was, when have they ever put us first? When have these people ever put us first? When have they ever cared about us? Right? But the majority of our people are gonna fall for this. All right, and who's leading the charge? Women, and they mainly using Eve, the same woman who got us in trouble in the beginning.
Diaz spoke to an influential local leader in Boston who's having trouble persuading people to get the shot. Adriana, good morning to you. It is a problem.
It is a big problem, Gail. Skepticism about this vaccine, as we've been reporting, is widespread, especially in communities of color, which of course have been disproportionate.
And see, one of the reasons why is because there are other forms of social media and other platforms of information, and those platforms are being drowned out and ignored here in America by the mainstream. Even here on YouTube, because if you say the wrong words, they'll demonetize or delete or just block your video or give your page a strike. So I'm careful not to say names, all right, about anything.
impacted by this virus. So how do you undo decades of distrust? One strategy is to spread the vaccine gospel.
You see, we say that, but do we mean it?
Reverend Liz Walker says she preaches about three things: truth, love, and lowering anxiety.
And see, this woman here, all right, is a liar. All right. This woman here is going to get a lot of people destroyed. This woman here is completely out of order to the Lord, because there's a couple scriptures that I'd like for her to explain why is she violating them, and how can she justify her violating of these scriptures. This is Genesis chapter 1. No, I'm sorry, chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahweh power had made, and he said unto the woman, yeah, have power said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die." Here she is again, telling you, you should not surely die. The gospel of the vaccination. What scripture is that? What scripture is that? But I tell you this. This is something that her church members, this is how you know the people are really ignorant, all right? When it comes to the Bible and when it comes to trusting in the Lord, they know nothing, all right? But this is First Timothy. I'm going to start at the 9th chapter. 1 Timothy 2 and the 9th chapter. And it says, "In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, and not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array." And she was definitely in costly array, very fitted. That showed off her bosom and her shape and everything else. All right. But it says, "But which becometh woman, professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp the authority over the man, but to be in silence." All right, because going back to the beginning, all right, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. All right. The woman was in transgression. And because the woman's purpose is to support her man, not lead him. And that's the problem. America has pushed the Negro woman to the forefront and removed the man from the equation. And these women destroy their houses and their families and our people. Point blank, period. They joined onto feminism, and it's literally destroyed us as a people. Matter of fact, let's find, see if we can go back. Mothers destroy sons. Look at the amount of videos. All right. And a lot of these are women. And women destroy our men. All right. So let's click on this video, which was put up by a GMS prisoner of hope.
I have only known this young man 24 hours, and there's no way in the world, just reading his space, that I know he's going to allow a man to abuse a woman in his presence.
She doesn't think about me that way.
And see, and he's got hair down past his shoulders. And the scripture says, does not nature itself, tell you that a man shouldn't have long hair, roughly paraphrased? All right. Yeah, that whole tight jeans, hair down past your shoulders, your pants hanging off your butt. That's a bad look. All right. And that's not something that most men learn from their fathers. They learn that from the culture, which is referred to as black culture, which is uplifted big time by the black woman, so-called black woman. And those that grow up in it, the men that grow up in it, they support it too because they don't know any different. and it's a destroyer of our people. All right, because there's no black is everything that's bad when you look up the definition of the word. And once again, I see three, and look at her face. See, and the woman's going to use a terminology on her, which I've faced a lot lately. All right, especially with dealing with women. And it's called provocative victims. When you provoke people, all right, and provoke yourself into being a victim, all right, especially when faced with what you've done wrong, all right, you twist it back on them or change the subject.
She didn't.
Well,
Because I
then
just
you
saw
don't
them
need to
playing
be
basketball and going on dates
so
together.
what?
And
Mind your business. You say that you don't see the man that your son is. So I'm asking you, since this is not a demonstration of a man, you need to tell me what man you're using to measure him with. Which one?
my idea.
Which is your idea. Mm-hmm. Now, is that the idea?
See, the scripture says, lean not into your own understanding. And that's just it. I've been facing that a lot lately. What I think and I feel being projected into a situation or relationship, which is not good. Let the Spirit, let the Lord be your guide. That's it. That's all it takes. All right? That's all it takes.
You trained him up to be?
No.
Oh. So how in the blazing bejesus are you holding him accountable to a standard that you didn't teach him, his father didn't give him, he don't even know what it is, and yet as his mother, you sit in his face and tell him you don't respect him as a man. Tell me how that works. Help me.
Like I said, it was events. It wasn't just.
I'm talking
And
about
it's
one
also
thing.
how he treats me.
Yeah, but I'm
doesn't
talking. Wait,
respect me
hello.
as a mom, and so-
You see, you are a provocative victim. You provoke stuff, and then when you start being held accountable for it, then you start twisting and turning and making the other person wrong. Look at.
Yep. This is Jeremiah 31 and verse 22. And it reads, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. A woman's not supposed to compass a man. All right? Because this is what happens. All right? And you best believe I expect my sister, as much as I do love my baby sister, but I expect her to turn on me. I expect her to surrender me over to the authorities when that time comes, and maybe even her oldest son, because her oldest son believes too. Yeah, because despite the evidence and the proof and the truth that she's provided with, she still wants to cling on to Esau Edom. Sadly.
Me, Mom. Look at me. Look at me. You just sat here and told your son, who ain't got a needle in his arm, who I'm assuming pays his own rent. He's married to a registered nurse. He's got 3 baby boys. And you just sat here in his face and said, I don't respect him as a man. Mm-hmm. And you don't think to consider what that does to his heart, to his...
And yeah, exactly. What sort of building is that? What sort of support system is that? And I'm willing to bet you that everything that I own, that his father is not in her life. And you wonder why. All right. This is Isaiah 3 and 12. And it reads, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. And who's sitting down taking this machination before the whole world? Who's being being one of the main representatives, showing their face as being the developer of this machination? Eve. Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Awashai Bashem Rakakwadash Wa Abba Shalom.